Welcome to Perpetue Robert, Naturopath. Sorry guys, I was late. I went outside and there was traffic. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, we're happy we are here. Then today we're gonna learn about the gut flora, okay? The microbiome in the gut, usually called gut flora, okay? And before we start, if it's the first time you are coming, welcome. I'm happy that you catch us when we are live. So stay with us. We're gonna learn great things today. And please let me know in the comment below, are you able to hear me properly? And as I'm doing so, I'm sharing to my group, Health Out of Hell. Really, that's what I do. I help people. If you do not know me, my name is Perpetue Robert. I'm a naturopath and I help people heal themselves or get their health back using a natural way. Okay, so I'm asking you, if you are following the live, I'm asking you to share in different groups and to your friends and family that you know that are really interested to learn about their health. Okay, so let's dive in. Where are you streaming from? Okay, I am streaming from Canada. What about you? Okay, where are you from? Let me know. I will be really happy to know about where you come from. Okay, yeah. So okay, is it the first time are you coming here? Is it your second time? Are you coming back? Have you followed the other live before? 2 weeks, last week we speak a lot about, hi Paul, thank you for liking the videos. Please stay tuned with us. We're gonna really give you some nuggets today that you might become responsible of your own health, right? That you do not have to depend on even me. Because after you learn how to take good care of yourself, you don't really I mean, the basic things that you will know how to take care of yourself. Okay, good. Let's talk up today. We're gonna talk about the gut flora. Okay, the gut flora microbiome. We talk about the microbiome. Microbiomes, we say that this is organism in the body, okay, microorganism that is 90%, you know that, do you hear that? 90% of the gut, of the microbiome of the body, of your body, is not cells. It is microorganism, and those microorganisms are composed with viruses, bacteria, and so many other microorganisms. These are a combination of different kind of microorganisms that is in the body, and they are 90%. And understand now, like, everybody is trying to get rid of bacteria, of microorganisms. You're gonna lose it. I'm telling you, you're gonna lose, because the environment is full of it, and we need those microorganisms. You are sick only when there is an unbalance in the microorganism. And today we're gonna talk about the gut, the intestinal area, what usually they call it the gut. And there is a reason they call it gut, because all that is happening here is gonna be there, is linked to there. All that is happening in your intestinal area is linked to your brain, to your mind, to the way you are thinking. Okay, so we saw also that everybody has a signature, that everybody has a special microbiome, even though we all have them, but some people will have more or less. Okay, so there is gonna be one that is dominant. There is gonna be one that is that's governed, we can say that, the other one. So there is 3 different types, okay? And those type of microorganism, they condition what we call the ecosystem, intestinal ecosystem. Okay, and they are linked. They are strictly linked to the health habit that you have, for the food habits that you have. So depending of your diet is an Occidental diet or Western diet, your microorganism, the bacteria that you have in your gut is gonna be different. Okay, so if your diet is full with grease, with sugar, or either your diet is full with vegetable, whether you cook vegetable or raw vegetable or legume vegetable, your microorganism, those bacteria that you have in your gut is gonna be different. So, which is really good because you can influence your gut positively or negatively. So, and you can do your best to keep the relationship between your bacteria and your intestine. So the more diverse it is, the more you're gonna be healthy. Okay, and we saw that people that are old, their gut, their microbiota is weaker because of the pills that they have been taking, medication, antibiotic, the stress they have lived in their life. All those things gonna affect the way they are. Okay, so it's not a surprise that medication itself destroys the gut microbiome. So that means you think twice when you have a headache, and you grab pills when you have a headache, and you or you have a problem, you go back to antibiotic. So be aware that's gonna influence your gut microbiome. And more there's an unbalance in your gut microbiome, what's gonna happen, you're gonna have more health problem, including inflammation, and you're gonna be more susceptible of having infection. Okay, more susceptible of having infection. So you see how important it is to take good care of yourself, to take good care of your gut, to take good care of everything that you put in your mouth. And even it's not only in your mouth, everything that you're putting on your skin, on your hair, on your body, you have to take good care of them. So good. So now we're gonna talk about the microbiome and intestinal. Or in the old days they used to call it the gut flora. Okay, so when you have a balanced gut flora, a balance between bacteria, viruses, candida in your gut, you are in a better health. So anybody that tells you that bacteria is not good or bacteria is bad for you, you have to go war against bacteria. Tell them no. The bacteria, I need them. The difference is like there is good bacteria and there is bad bacteria. That's why I said the people using so much of Purell or any hand disinfectant because of the COVID that you have, you're definitely destroying the gut bacteria on your skin. By the way, I make my own butter, and it's full with herbs to feed those microbiome, because we need those microbiome and the body, and we need them in our gut also. So they now science identify that we have more than 100,000 billion of bacteria in the gut alone, and I'm sure there is more. I'm sure there is more because science haven't discovered everything. They are doing great things. I'm so glad and so happy for them, but they haven't seen everything that we have. For now, they say it is 100,000 billion. If you knew about that, let me know. I did not know about that, so I learned it. I did not know that our gut bacteria, it's more than 100 billion, thousand billion. So there is some. Most of them is what we call the big intestine. They call it the colon. You know, the colon is the big intestine. Most of them are there, and what they eat fiber. Okay, they eat fiber. So then there is hi Nicole, how are you? Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So okay, so the gut microbiome, because they find it's 100,000 billion, okay, they now say that our ecosystem, microbe ecosystem, is more populated than even the planet. Can you imagine that? That means they think that we have more microbe. We have, hi Nicole, thank you, how are you? So we have more microbe in the gut than we have in the whole planet Earth. Imagine that. Imagine how important it is. And most of them is in the colon area, which we call the colon. So I'm glad that you are feeling great. Okay, thank you for joining, thank you for sharing. Okay, so when we start to feel sick, when we start having a problem, this is when there is an overpopulation of pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria, it is bacteria that is not that good. It is not that good for them. And why is that happening? So let's stay tuned to understand. So from the day that you are born, okay, you inherit the bacteria from your mother, from your vagina, the vaginal bacteria and fecal bacteria. That means the bacteria coming from the butt of your mother and coming from the vagina. Bacteria. So your body, you inherit all those bacteria, and they find that a baby that was born natural way than a baby that had a C-section is different. The baby that was born in a natural way has a better immune system because of all the bacteria that it has inherited from the mother. Okay, so, and the more the bacteria of the mother is diverse, the more chance that the baby has to be more healthy. So if you are if you are in the age of procreation, please feed yourself good food. Feed yourself food that's natural. Feed yourself food that is non-toxic. The more you feed yourself of good food, the more chance your baby has to be healthy. Okay? And even those babies that have been born with C-section, they're gonna have their own microbiome, but it's got, especially if the mother breastfed. Okay, if the mother used the breastfeed the baby, they have the chance to have a more stabilized gut bacteria, but it takes about 3 years. It takes about 3 years to get that much bacteria as the baby that was born naturally. Okay, do you have any question? Is it clear? So, you know, feel free to ask me any question. Okay. So now that we understand what is the role of the gut microbiome, the first role of the gut microbiome is your metabolism. Metabolism, what is mean? Your digestion. That means it helps to the well function of the body. It's help to defend. It's help the body to digest the food that you're eating. And you have to understand that most of your digestion, like the absorption of the nutrient that you have, is in the small intestine. Okay, and some of them too are in the big intestine called the colon. And in the colon, you're gonna find like absorption. Vitamin K, vitamin B12, vitamin B8, all that happen in the colon area. Okay, so, and it's responsible also for your mood, obesity, and chronic disease. Yes, your obesity, your chronic illness, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's diabetes, whether it's high cholesterol, it's all the gut flora is responsible for that, has a big relation between the problems that you have and what's happening in your gut area. And also it's also play a role of a barrier. You understand? That's mean he prevent the body of being invaded by pathogenic bacteria, by being invaded by bacteria that are bad bacteria, though they call them those scavengers. And there is a fight between those two. There is a fight between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Why? Because they are fighting over the nutrient that you are feeding the body. Okay, so if you feed the body the good bacteria, the good food, so your good bacteria will feed on them. It's like you're feeding your army, you're feeding your defense of good food, and they will be able to fight against the bad bacteria. But if you are feeding yourself food that is mostly canned food, that is mostly processed food, that is mostly denatured, that means it's not natural at all. So those bad bacteria is gonna feed on them, and when they feed on them, so your good bacteria is left hungry, so they're gonna be weak. That's when it's become really dangerous. And they form also what is called the intestinal wall. A wall might mean that is prevent the food, prevent toxin of going to your bloodstream. So the wall is full with mucus, good mucus, because the bacteria, the good bacteria, they need a place that is wet. No wonder, like when you have something that is wet, what's happened? You have mold, you have bacteria that come there, and it's the same thing. So the more the mucus that you have in your intestinal wall, this is where your good, the bacteria live, where all those microorganisms live, and so they are feeding themselves. So they make a wall, it's stopping the food going into your bloodstream. Understand that is a colon area. When you eat some food, when you eat food that stay there for so long, what's happened to those food? They become rotten, they become a waste. Now there's particle of food that goes to the bloodstream, and when those particle of food goes to the bloodstream, what's happened? The body is identify those particle of food as allergen. So that means now whenever you eat that kind of food, the body's gonna react and think, oh wow, there is a stranger, it's not supposed to be there, so it sent antibodies. That's why people, they used to have some kind of food, and as they go older, now they become allergic to those food. Why? Because they develop an allergic reaction, because the intestinal wall become, the porosity of the intestinal wall raise, so those food can go, those particle, protein particle goes to the bloodstream, and when they go to that bloodstream, now the body recognize them as a stranger, and the body recognize them as poison, and now attacking. Whenever you're eating those kind of food, the body react like that. So I know I've been talking a lot. Do you understand? So if you don't understand, please feel free to just put your question in the comment section. Okay. So the other wall that the gut microbiome has is to stimulation of your immune system. Okay, so your immune system, he intervene in the maturation, activation of your immune system cell. Okay, and those immune system cells, what they do, they protect us against pathogenic agents like bacteria or viruses. That's why right now, people that have certain kind of problem, I speak to the lady that is working at the acute care, intensive care, and she told me that people with kidney failure, usually when they have COVID in your area, in your intensive care that she's working in Canada, in Montreal, Canada, those people usually does not go over the COVID. They passed away. They passed away. So, and she said that most people that comes is people that are struggling with their blood pressure and people that struggling with their blood sugar. So those people have a tendency to have the viruses, COVID, more. Okay. Well, so your gut microbiome help with the activation of the immune system cell, and themselves, they protect the body against pathogenic bacteria or viruses. So your gut is the first reservoir of immune system cells. First reservoir. You see how important it is to feed yourself good things and to feed those good bacteria and not feeding them crap. So I understand it is good to have to wear a mask. It is good to wear gloves. It is good to wash your hands all the time. But it's best that you, while you're doing that, it's best that you feed yourself good food, because the real protection is not in the mask. The real protection is not only in washing your hands. The real protection is really of feeding yourself good things that your immune system might be strong. And make sure that your immune system is diverse. Make sure that the composition of your gut bacteria is diverse. How do you make it diverse? By eating different kind of food, and especially food that are in their season. Because when the food are in their season, they are better, they have more enzyme, and make sure that they are ripe also. Okay, ripe food, that you can get the most benefits of the food. Okay, so eat their food in their season, eat diverse kind of food. And there is another role also of the gut bacteria, is a wall of the intestinal mucus. We talk about the intestinal mucus. This intestinal mucus is gonna help with your digestive tube, is gonna help with the digestive your whole intestine, is gonna help with the maturation, is gonna work with the thickness of it, because the more thin is your gut bacteria, the more porous it is, the more bacteria, the more microorganism, the more particle of food can go into the bloodstream. And it has also other function. Other function that he has is protection. It helps you to see when you are sick also. Yep. When you're sick. It helps with inflammation. It helps with metabolism. That means breaking down. It helps also to breaking down the food that you are eating. Because if your food that you are eating, there is not enough microorganism to break down those food gonna stay there. It's gonna become rotten and eventually become like a poison in the body. And it's also responsible for your mood, behavior, neurological problem. You will not know about that. That your gut, what you're putting in your mouth, has a really strong relationship how you feel, how you act, and how you understand things. Deeply with your gut. How you feel, how you act, and how you understand things. And I mean, this is life. Imagine somebody has like bipolar problem. Yes, for sure that there is some problem that is genetic. And again, the genetic problem that you have is because, for example, your grandparents have been eating a certain way, your parents eat the same way and sometimes worse, and you have your children that is eating worse than what you have been doing. So that's been the generation after the generation gonna have a weak immune system, a gut microbiome that is not diverse enough, and what's happened? The generation after is gonna become more sick. More sick. People always think about their what I'm gonna leave for my children. You know, they are thinking about all the wealth they're gonna, all the worldly wealth they're gonna leave for their children, house, money, you know, property, but they do not think about the best thing that they are leaving for their children is the health they are giving their children. The mother that is bearing a child, having a child, is leaving a legacy of health, strong health or poor health for their children. That's the legacy you'll leave. Is it the legacy that you want to leave for your children? And after the children is born, what you are cooking in your house, what you are cooking, what you are feeding your children every day, gonna make them weak or strong. It's for sure. After a certain age, the child has the ability to choose whether he's choosing to eat junk or is choosing to eat wealthy. That's their own responsibility. But what's the most important, it is you as parent, you have taught that children, or at least you give the children the basic when he's born, and the place to give it in when you give birth to the baby and you breastfeed the baby, and when the baby is at a certain age, you feed them, you give them a good foundation. You give them a good foundation. So, and the generation after depend on us. The generation after depend on what we are feeding our children. So, well, are you ready to feed your children poison? Feeding your children things that you know that's gonna destroy them in the long run? And it is like I said all the time, it's not because your mother was obese, your father was obese, your mother had a problem, a health problem, your father has a health problem, that you have to have it. Because if you change your health habit, for sure, you probably will have some kind of problem like that. But if you learn how to counteract that, if you learn how to take better decisions or to do better, there is a change that there is a lot of chance that you do not suffer the same thing as your parents had suffered. A lot of chance. You know, the genetic plays a role. Really, it really does play a role. But your attitude, what you are doing is the trigger. The decision that you take every day is gonna be the trigger. So understand that the unbalanced gut microbiome might be or is usually the source of your problem, of the difficulty, of the illness, of the chronic diseases that you have, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever you name it. Because why? We're gonna see later on that they get a sample of people that have chronic disease, and what they find out, they all have a weak immune gut problem. They all have them. Okay, you are what you eat. And understand also that the food that you are eating is not only food. The thought that you're having also has a really great influence on your gut microbiome also. Okay, so that was all for today, and I hope that I inspired you enough to take a good decision. And meanwhile, if you have any problem, blood pressure, diabetes, or difficulty to lose weight, you can contact me at perpetue.robert@gmail.com, or I'm gonna put in the link below my Calendly, and you can take an appointment, a free 15 minutes with me to know how I can help you. And you don't have to be sick. You don't have to wait until you are sick to take a decision. You don't have to wait until things are not feeling good to start taking decision, because prevention is better than treating. Prevention is better than treating. And from my experience, what I see is like when you are alone, it's difficult. When you are as a group, it's more easy. It's easier. It's way easier. If you have someone to be accountable to, if you have someone that you know that you're gonna report for, it makes things really, really easier. So the choice is yours. You are choosing to have a life in abundance or death in abundance. So that's what's all for today. And meanwhile, like I said, like I told you, your bacteria is not only in your gut, it's on your skin, it's on your scalp, it's on your ears, in your lungs, in everywhere, and you have to feed those good bacteria. Myself, I make hair products naturally, food that you can eat that will not disturb the gut, the microorganism that is on your scalp, that can not only help to nourish your scalp, nourish your hair, but also nourish the good bacteria and make a great environment for your hair to grow. And that one is a good one. The sun ivy oil and the momo butter is really good for everyone, but I had good experience with people using them on their baby's hair. Yes, it is as safe to use on baby's hair, believe me. Even the shea butter itself, the butter itself, people in Burkina Faso, in Ivory Coast, they eat it. And it smells good. They eat it as food. They eat it with their rice. I was surprised. I did not know that. So, okay. And we have that one for a pre-poo. For people that have scalp problem, scalp unbalance, the Embrace is a good one. And that one too, it helps to strengthen your hair, and it's a good pre-poo to prevent your hair with hydral fatigue. That's mean we see when the hair, when you have your hands in water and it's become all white, you know, that means that the hands have been exposed to water so much. So that's the same thing. Or you see your nails become all pale. It's the same thing that's happened to hair when hair gets swollen, get too much water. So that is preventing the hair to absorb too much water in it, or let the water get into the hair really slowly. So I'm gonna put the link below in the description box, and I do send over to the US. I live in Canada. If you're in Canada as welcome. I live everywhere in the world. So that was all for today. So make sure you pay attention to what you're eating and stay healthy. Bye.